Yo, and welcome back to Dan Escapes. If you saw my video a year ago, I did a review of this bike, the Fiido D2S. So I wanted to do a year-on review of this bike just to say what I've learned from it, the pros and cons, and also answer some of the comments you left on my last video. So before we get on with this video, you can check out my previous video that I did of the Fiido by clicking in the top right hand corner or checking out the link in the description below. And if you're feeling up to it, you can subscribe to my channel and like this video as it helps a lot and I very much appreciate it. Firstly, for the price, this is a great bike. You get a powerful motor which gets you from A to B really easily, so you're not having to put in too much effort when cycling. And secondly, it's very comfortable. You've got a nice padded seat and you've got this rear suspension, which most electric bikes don't come with unless you're riding an e-mountain bike. But still, its biggest downfall is its weight. It comes in around nearly 20 kilograms and you kind of have to be almost like an Olympic lifter just to get this up the stairs. And when it's in its folded form, it's very awkward and cumbersome to move. So I just wanted to jump in and say that the weight is due to this large battery and motor. You've got to weigh out your costs, whether you want something that's lightweight or you want a powerful motor or a big battery that gives you a long range. So one of the biggest comments I got about this bike on my last video was that this thumb throttle here is actually illegal to use on UK roads. And that is a big thing because one, you don't want to get points on your license, because I heard you can do that, especially with the electric scooters going around. And also you don't want it confiscated. So you can get around this by disconnecting the thumb throttle, but I don't actually know how to do that safely. I'd have to speak to Fiido themselves to see if it can be done, and then also reconnect it if you take the bike to a country where the thumb throttle is legal. So I read somewhere on a forum that you can trace the wire from the thumb throttle all the way back to here, and then there might be a system here, there you can unplug it. I haven't gone into detail on breaking it apart yet to see if that happens, but I will let you know in the comments below if that does work. So the second biggest comment that stood out to me was replacing parts on this bike. Obviously you're not going to be able to get them all in your local bike shop because these are like 14-inch wheels. You have to go to Fiido directly where they have a spare parts page. For me, that's kind of a bit long-winded because say if you've got a flat, you can't just go into your local bike shop and get it fixed or repaired, especially with all these parts and motors. You have to order it all from Fiido, so you're going to look at waiting time if you need to fix it, so that could be a big issue for some people. So a few other small comments that were mentioned, the first one being the rear mudguard. It can bend out of place and rub against the rear wheel when moving, which can be an issue, and they even said it could rip off. You can solve this by either taking the rear mudguard off, which I don't think is a great solution because it's great to have if you get caught out in the rain. For me, I haven't had an issue personally, but you can tighten this bolt up here to stop it from moving side to side. The only problem is it is an awkward place to get to. It looks like you have to take the rear wheel off just to get to it. Another comment was, do I use the gears much? I haven't personally because the motor has been very powerful and you really don't need to change gear when you've got it on. It can only be an issue if you run out of battery power and you can't use the electric motor to get you up hills. So that's where I think it will come in handy, but yeah, I haven't really used it myself. And the last quick issue was, can you charge it when it's folded? And the answer is yes, you can. So I just wanted to go over a few things that I've kind of noticed about this bike over the year of having it. And the first thing is I tend to grab my road bike first over this purely because of speed. It can get me to places faster and also I get a decent workout at the same time. The only time I found myself using the Fiido is if I'm very lazy, I'm in no rush and the journey had a lot of hills. And another issue, because I'm very used to rim and hydraulic brakes at the moment, these steel mechanical disc brakes kind of are very grabby and yeah, like, you know, you can't really feather them as much as you can do on hydraulic and rim brakes. And that brings me on to the last issue, and that is the length of these bars. They're quite narrow, and I can see why they've done that, so it can fold down into a compact form. But for me, I like a bit of width just so that you've got more control, especially in London where cars and people are pulling out of all places and you need to swerve really quickly. Although this has been a negative video of the Fiido, it's still a great bike and it definitely serves a purpose as a cheap electric folding bike, which gets you from A to B really easily and comfortably. The most important points I wanted you to take away from this video was that the thumb throttle is illegal in the UK, and then finding spare parts for this bike can be pretty expensive and hard to come by. Coming back to comments, a lot of you were asking me to review the Fiido against other electric folding bikes on the market. Unfortunately, my bank account doesn't allow me to buy infinite amount of bikes, but if you wanted to, you can help by subscribing to this channel, and hopefully other manufacturers will send me their bikes to give you an honest review. So that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it helps a lot and I very much appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments below, are you still looking at getting the Fiido D2S, or is there any other bikes you'd be interested in that I could probably check out and hopefully get sent? Hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun, and I shall see you in the next one.